Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take all your source material and help you figure out what it all means. Today we're going to be looking at the fascinating world career transitions, and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty
Oh, yeah.
of what it takes to make a successful leap, especially when you're coming from a really demanding field.
Right.
And for this deep dive, we're going to focus on someone who's leaving the world of professional ballet,
Okay.
which is like one of the toughest gigs out there.
Absolutely.
And our subject today, Lauren Baznik Spahr, has done just that.
Wow.
She's not just any former dancer. She's actually transitioned into some truly surprising fields like pastry arts and real estate.
Oh, wow.
And get this, she's now an office manager at a trading firm.
You're kidding?
No, I'm serious. So we're going to dive into how she did it, what she learned along the way, and what insights you can take away from her experience.
I'm so curious to hear all about it.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating because, for a professional dancer, ballet isn't just a career. It's like an all-encompassing lifestyle.
Yeah.
It shapes their whole worldview, like from a very young age. So transitioning out of that world can be incredibly challenging practically and emotionally.
It's a huge change.
Huge change. And that's where Lauren's story gets so interesting.
Okay.
One of the first things that really stood out to me was how she realized it was time for a change.
Right.
Like, can you imagine? She started to dread going to ballet class.
Oh, no.
The thing she used to love.
The thing she lived for.
I know it's a powerful reminder that even when you're living your dream,
Yeah.
it's possible to lose that spark,
Absolutely.
And recognizing that early on
Right.
is key, not just for your career, but like your overall well-being.
Absolutely. It's often the first sign that something needs to shift.
Yeah.
And what's really remarkable about Lauren's journey is how she managed to translate her skills from ballet
Yeah.
into these vastly different fields.
Right, because on the surface, ballet and like pastry arts seem
Totally different.
worlds apart.
Yeah.
But Lauren found that the discipline, the work ethic, and the resilience that she honed as a dancer were so valuable in like every single one of her subsequent careers.
That's what's so fascinating about it.
Isn't it?
I mean, think about it. Baking requires this incredible precision and artistry.
It does.
You're working with these delicate ingredients. You're aiming for perfect textures and flavors.
Yes,
It's almost like a choreographed dance in the kitchen.
it is. It is.
And a dancer's understanding of form and aesthetics and attention to detail is like a perfect fit for that world.
Totally. And it's not just about technical skills either.
Right.
Like real estate, for example, demands strong interpersonal skills organization, the ability to handle like a million things at once. All things that dancers like learn to master from a very young age.
It's almost as if their training inadvertently prepares them for success in like a whole range of fields.
That's true.
It's really a testament to their adaptability.
Yeah.
And it's a great reminder for anyone listening, no matter your background. Don't underestimate the skills that you've acquired through your unique experiences.
Oh, yeah.
You just never know how they might apply in these unexpected ways.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Pastry arts and real estate
Yeah.
are both notorious for their like demanding hours
Oh, yeah.
and intense pace. I mean, we're talking long days, high stakes.
The hustle is real.
The hustle is real.
Yeah.
And yet Lauren credits her dance background for like preparing her for that very hustle.
Which, when you think about it, isn't surprising at all. I mean,
Right.
ballet training is incredibly rigorous. You start at such a young age.
Yes.
It instills this incredible work ethic and this ability to perform under pressure.
Right.
And those are invaluable qualities that just translate beautifully into any high-pressure career.
It's like they have this secret weapon that no one else does.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about networking.
Okay.
We all know it's important.
It is.
But Lauren really emphasizes how crucial it was for her transitions. Like, several of her jobs came through connections
Yeah.
and networking, which highlights that it wasn't just about skills, it was also about who she knew.
And what's interesting is that Lauren's networking wasn't about attending these fancy industry events or schmoozing.
Right.
It was about building genuine relationships and letting people know what she was passionate about and what she was hoping to achieve.
I love that.
When she was transitioning into pastry, she would bake samples for potential employers,
Oh, wow.
showcasing her skills and her dedication.
Yeah.
It wasn't just talking the talk, it was walking the walk.
That's such a great example of how to make your networking stand out.
Exactly.
And speaking of standing out, Lauren also shared some practical time management tips.
Oh, I love a good time management tip.
Me too, and I found these super helpful.
Okay.
Think about it. She was balancing a full-time job while also working towards her bachelor's degree.
That's a lot.
It's a lot to juggle.
Yeah.
And yet she swears by this surprisingly simple tool,
What's that?
a physical planner.
Oh, wow. Old school.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a world of digital distractions, a physical planner can be so grounding.
Totally.
It allows you to prioritize tasks,
Mm-hmm.
break down large projects, and actually see your progress.
You can't get that from an app.
I know, it's a powerful tool, especially when you're dealing with like a lot of moving parts.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about transferable skills,
Right.
the dancer's hustle mentality, the importance of authentic networking.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another layer to Lauren's story that we need to explore.
Okay.
Leaving behind a career that's so intertwined with your identity
Yeah.
can be like a real emotional roller coaster.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, she had to reintroduce herself to
Okay.
people as Lauren,
Mm-hmm.
not just the dancer.
It's a whole identity shift.
It is, and it's about reconstructing your identity. Like when you've dedicated so much of your life to one specific field, it becomes like a core part of who you are.
Right.
Leaving that behind can feel like losing a piece of yourself.
It's true.
And Lauren's very open about how she grappled with that sense of loss while also like embracing these new opportunities.
Mm-hmm. It's a delicate balance.
It is, and it sounds like this is a common experience for dancers transitioning out of the profession.
Yeah.
I mean, they pour their heart and soul into this art form, and then suddenly that chapter's closed.
Right.
So how do you navigate that loss while also forging this new path?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is a big one.
And Lauren found that it took time, self-reflection, and a conscious effort to redefine herself beyond her dancer identity.
Wow.
It's not like an overnight switch.
No,
It's a process.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, one more key takeaway before we wrap up part one.
Okay, shoot.
Planning ahead.
Ah, yes.
Lauren really emphasizes the importance of starting to think about your career transition early,
Like way early.
even years in advance.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
It's huge.
Not just in practical terms like, giving yourself time to explore different fields,
Right.
but also emotionally.
Oh, yeah.
It allows for a more gradual shift,
Right.
preventing that feeling of being forced out or hitting a wall. It helps you develop a healthier relationship with your current field.
I like that.
It's about recognizing that your career, like life,
Mm-hmm.
has chapters.
Okay.
You can still be fully present in this chapter while acknowledging that there will be others.
And when the time does come to transition,
Yes.
you'll be so much more prepared.
Exactly.
You'll have explored your options, built your network,
Right.
and started to envision what you want that next chapter to look like.
All right, listeners, that's it for part one of our deep dive into Lauren's incredible journey from the world of ballet to, well, a whole lot of other places.
Stay tuned for part two, where we'll delve into how her priorities evolved after leaving dance, the surprising joy she found in building a life outside of the spotlight, and her advice for anyone considering a similar transition.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We're continuing our exploration of Lauren Baznik Spahr's fascinating career journey. And last time we kind of left off with this idea of like
Yeah.
preparing for a career transition even while you're still like immersed in your current field.
It's all about recognizing those early signs,
Yes.
the subtle shifts in your priorities and passions.
And speaking of shifting priorities,
Yes.
that's exactly what happened with Lauren.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about her feeling like burnt out,
Yeah.
emotionally drained from the world of ballet?
Mm-hmm.
Well, as she moved into these new careers, something really interesting happened.
What's that?
Her definition of success started to change.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like a natural progression, after
Yeah.
dedicating years to such a demanding
Right.
and all-consuming field,
Okay.
it's understandable to crave a different kind of fulfillment.
Totally.
And that's exactly what Lauren found.
Okay.
She started prioritizing things like work-life balance,
Mm-hmm.
financial security,
Okay.
having the time and resources to travel,
Yeah.
nurturing relationships with loved ones,
Right.
things that in the context of her previous life might have seemed almost,
Yeah.
dare I say, ordinary.
Like boring adult things.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it. What Lauren's story highlights is that these seemingly ordinary things,
Mm-hmm.
these boring adult things, as some might call them,
Right.
can actually be incredibly fulfilling.
It's a different kind of fulfillment.
It is. It's like she traded the spotlight for a different kind of satisfaction.
Yeah.
A sense of peace and stability that comes from building a life that feels truly aligned with her values.
And that's such an important message for anyone listening.
It is.
It's okay for your goals and priorities to evolve.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you're any less ambitious or driven. It
Definitely.
simply means you're growing and discovering what truly matters to you at this stage in your life.
I love that.
Yeah.
And, it makes me think about how after conquering the world of professional ballet,
Right.
things like a steady paycheck and a vacation
Yeah.
suddenly don't seem so mundane anymore.
Right.
They represent a freedom and flexibility that was likely missing before.
Exactly. It's about recalibrating your definition of success.
Yeah,
And Lauren's current role as an office manager seems to be ticking all those boxes for her.
it does.
She's even said that she loves going to work every day,
I know,
which, let's be honest, isn't something you hear too often.
especially in the corporate world.
No kidding. But it speaks volumes about how she's found a role that truly aligns with her values and priorities.
Totally. She's still organized. She's still driven.
Right.
She's still that high-achieving personality.
Mm-hmm.
But now that energy is channeled towards building a fulfilling life, both inside and outside of work.
And that's where her dance background continues to serve her well.
Yes.
Those years of rigorous training instilled in her an incredible discipline and time management skills,
Right.
which are now helping her excel in her career while also making space for all the things she loves.
It's like she took the best parts of her dance training,
Yes.
the resilience, the
Yeah.
focus, the work ethic, and applied them to create a life that's both successful and sustainable.
And that's ultimately what we're talking about when we talk about career transition.
Yes.
It's not just about finding a new job. It's about finding a new way to live a life
Mm-hmm.
that feels authentic and aligned.
So let's kind of recap what we've learned from Lauren's journey so far.
Okay?
We've talked about the incredible transferability of skills
Yes.
from a seemingly niche field like ballet to like a variety of different industries.
A lot of different places.
We've explored the importance of authentic networking,
Right.
not just schmoozing, but like genuinely connecting with people,
Mm-hmm.
showcasing your passions.
Absolutely.
We've delved into the emotional challenges of leaving behind a career
Yes.
that's so intertwined with your identity
Right.
and how to navigate that process of redefining yourself.
The big one.
And we've touched upon this idea that it's not only okay,
Mm-hmm.
but natural for your priorities and goals to shift over time.
It's part of life.
What might have seemed fulfilling in one chapter of your life might not hold the same weight in another.
Totally.
And that's okay.
It's all part of the journey.
It is. What really strikes me about Lauren's story is how she embodies this concept of continuous growth and self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't just leave ballet and settle into a new career.
Right.
She kept exploring, experimenting, evolving.
She kept going.
And that exploration led her to a place where she genuinely seems happy and fulfilled,
Yeah.
both professionally and personally,
That's the dream.
which I think is something we can all aspire to regardless of our career paths.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap up this part, I want to highlight one more piece of advice that Lauren offers,
Okay.
specifically for dancers who are contemplating a career transition.
Okay.
Oh, yes, this is such a crucial point.
Okay.
She stresses the importance of starting that exploration process early,
Yeah.
even if you're not quite ready to make a move just yet.
Like, just start thinking about it.
Exactly.
Right.
Her advice is, if you're even thinking about it, start exploring now.
Mhm.
Don't wait until you're burnt out or feel forced to make a change.
Yeah.
Give yourself the time and space to figure out what you want, to connect with people in different fields, and to start building a plan.
I love it.
It's about being proactive rather than reactive.
And I think that's such valuable advice.
It is.
The more prepared you are,
Yes.
the smoother that transition will be, both logistically and emotionally.
Totally. Because as Lauren's story so beautifully illustrates,
Yes.
the more you invest in that exploration process,
Mm-hmm.
the more likely you are to find a path that leads to both success and genuine fulfillment.
It's about creating a life that feels like it's truly your own.
And who knows, you might even surprise yourself with where you end up.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes the most unexpected paths
Yeah.
lead to the most incredible destinations.
All right, listeners, that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive into Lauren's inspiring story. In part 3, we'll hear her final words of wisdom for those navigating the transition out of a dance career. And we'll leave you with a thought-provoking question to consider as you continue your own unique journey.
Stay tuned, because there's still so much to uncover.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been talking about Lauren Baznik, Spahr's, journey,
Mm-hmm.
this remarkable career journey she's had.
Right.
And in this final part,
Yeah.
we're going to try and distill some of her key insights,
Okay.
especially for those of you listening who might be thinking about, a similar transition, maybe even from a field as like crazy demanding as professional dancer.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that's so powerful about Lauren's story is how she talks about,
Mm-hmm.
the emotional side of it all.
Yes.
You know, leaving a career that's like so tied up in who you are.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding a new job. It's like rediscovering who you are outside of that role.
Exactly. And she's been so open about that struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how she talked about, having to reintroduce herself as Lauren,
Right.
not
Yep.
just like the dancer?
Yeah.
It was a process of letting go of that label and
Uh-huh.
embracing all these other parts of herself.
And her advice is so helpful there.
Yes, it is.
You know, she encourages dancers to like acknowledge and honor their past,
Mm.
but to also realize that there's so much more than just their dance career.
Yes.
She actually said, and I'm quoting her here, "Be proud of your past. Your journey as a dancer is special and something no one can take away from you. Keep in mind where you started and how hard you worked to get there. This same determination and resilience will help you so much in your new chapter."
Wow, that's powerful.
It is.
It's like owning those achievements, but also understanding that they don't define your whole being.
Right.
There are other talents, other passions,
Yeah.
other sides of yourself just waiting to be
Discovered.
explored. Exactly.
Yeah.
And for those of you who might be doubting yourselves out there,
Mm-hmm.
Lauren has a message for you too.
Oh, I like this.
She says, don't doubt yourself. You have a valuable skill set that a very small percentage of the entire world has.
And she's not wrong.
No, she's not. The
Yeah.
discipline, the work ethic, the ability to perform under pressure,
Mm-hmm.
these are qualities that are like gold in any field.
Absolutely.
It's about recognizing the value of your unique experience and
Yeah.
translating it.
The new context.
Yes. So to all the dancers out there listening, if you're even considering a change, remember Lauren's words.
Mm-hmm.
You are capable. You are resilient.
Mm-hmm.
You have so much to offer the world. And don't be afraid to
Right.
reach out to your network, explore different options,
Mm-hmm.
and take the time to really figure out what makes you happy.
Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Finding a path that aligns with your values, your passions, your goals. It's about creating a life that feels both successful and fulfilling on your own terms.
And as Lauren's story shows,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the most unexpected paths lead to the most extraordinary destinations.
They do.
You never know what amazing opportunities are waiting for you just around the corner.
You really don't. Lauren's journey has given us so much to think about. We've
Yeah.
learned about the power of transferable skills,
Hmm.
the importance of authentic networking, the emotional ups and downs of career transitions,
Mhm.
and the idea that our priorities can and should change over time.
I think Lauren's story leaves us with a really important question to consider.
I agree. What
What would it look like for you
Yeah.
to create a life that's both successful and fulfilling?
Mm-hmm.
What unique skills and experiences do you bring to the table?
Mm-hmm.
And what steps can you take today to start building that future?
It's something to think about, maybe even jot down some ideas in that trusty planner of yours.
Yes.
Because as Lauren so clearly shows,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes those unexpected detours lead to the most incredible places.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
This was great.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.